Jai Baba.
Yeah, Jai Baba.
Thank you for the invite. This is my third visit in the last 10 years. I will begin with an introduction of my family. My wife of 41 years, Firuza.
Jai Baba.
Our son Firoz. Firoz's wife Kokila. And their daughter Arnawaz. Arnawaz, wave out. So, here we begin. I'll have to take you back in time, in the late 50s. In the late 50s, our father, Firoz, he fell ill, he was taken to hospital, and within 7 days' time, he was gone. Mom was only 40, and the three of us, my eldest sister Diana, the younger sister Betsy, and myself, we were not even teenagers. We were that young. And as I said, Mom was only 40. And in 7 days' time in the hospital, Dad's gone. Mother is at sea. She didn't know what to look in life, where to look in life. She was completely distraught. And there walks in our family friend called Hosang Patel. Hosang and his family, they were quite spiritually oriented. And Hosang knew a saint in Mumbai called Kamu Baba. He was from Goregaon. Goregaon is one of the suburbs of Mumbai. So Hosang tells Mom that, Kaushal, why don't you come to Kamu Baba? He's a genuine saint and he will do you good. Now, Mom we were not very conservative as a family, as Zoroastrian family. Kind of open to it. So Mom had nothing to lose. Mom said, okay, I'll come. So one Sunday morning, we fast forward. We are at Kamu Baba's ashram. And there's a long queue because being Sunday morning. And then Hosang Patel meets Kamu Baba first. My mom is introduced to him. And Kamu Baba is asking Mom, what is it that you want? What are you looking for? Now you got to imagine that here's a 40-year-old widow. There are kids. Sorry, there are three children at the back who are not even teenagers yet. And so instead of asking for help, wealth, looking after, please look after my children, she says, show me inner light, give me inner knowledge. Now you've got to imagine how can a woman ask for such a thing instead of asking for something materialistically better. So effectively it means that mother was right. Spiritually she was right. So Kamu Baba is asking Mom to bend down. He's seated in his gadi. Kamu Baba was seated in his gadi. Mom standing here. So he says, bend down. So Mom bends down and Kamu Baba runs his thumb like this. This is your chakra, one of your chakras. This is your third eye. This is the third eye. Effectively by doing this, Kamu Baba opened my mom's third eye. And now, by the way, who was Kamu Baba? And spiritually, what was his status? It was years later that Roshan Kerawala told me that when she was in Mumbai for 1 year, she was learning embroidery, etc. So from Pune, she had come to Mumbai to learn this trade or art. And she was the one who Kamu Baba said, please give my salutations to Meher Baba, give my salam to Meher Baba. And in turn, Meher Baba would also send his greetings to Kamu Baba. So that gives you an idea of Kamu Baba's spiritual holding, because Meher Baba acknowledged it. So that's that. And we come back, and there walks in Rhoda Mistry. Rhoda Mistry was Jim Mistry's wife, one of the Darachanji from one of the Darachanji family. And they were friends already in the past. So Rhoda comes to my home once or twice every week in the afternoons, and she would come from, let's say, 2 in the afternoon to 6 in the evening, and almost non-stop talk about Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba. She would bring some pamphlets, some photographs, some leaflets about Baba, Baba's discourses. So mom had seen Meher Baba's photograph. So she knew at least who Meher Baba was, what he looked like. And because of Kamo Baba, mom started meditating. And she had once told me that I close my eyes and I see Meher Baba in front of me. Mind you, this is before we went to Pune and before we met Meher Baba. That's very relevant. Before we met Meher Baba, mom would close her eyes at our house and in front of her she would see Meher Baba. And she told me once that she would see Meher Baba as small as a matchbox and as large as a skyscraper. So this is a depth of how mom saw Meher Baba. And she started meditating for hours. She would meditate, she would go within herself. And then, once again, fast forwarding, one day Rhoda must have told mom that every summer we go to Pune, we stay at a place called Moguls Hotel. And every summer Baba comes from Merazar, he comes to Pune, he stays at Pune for 3 months. So would you like to come and join us? And mom was, of course, wanting to be with Baba, wanting to meet Baba, wanting to see Baba. So she must have jumped to it and said, of course I would like to come and meet Meher Baba. So once again we fast forward, we are in the summer of 1960, could be around mid-April because that's when Meher Baba came. From mid-April to mid-June he came. He stayed at a place called Guru Prasad. It was a mansion of Maharani of Baroda. So we are at Moguls Hotel and we are checked in. What we would do is, all the Parsis, Zoroastrians, Baba families, they would hire a room in this hotel for 2 months, 3 months, and we would stay there, we would cook our own meals, but you are only leasing the room, that's it. So we also leased one room, we stayed there, and the same evening, let me explain. This Moguls Hotel was on a leafy boulevard-like road called Bund Garden Road. A very, very nice locality, Bund Garden Road. And on Bund Garden Road was also Guru Prasad. For example, if Moguls Hotel was here, on the same pavement, let's say if you walked 100 meters, there is Guru Prasad. So effectively, we were, as a group, we were the closest to Baba from anyone else because we were right there on Bund Garden Road itself. So in the evening, Rhoda takes mom and the 3 of us. We have walked down from Moguls Hotel to Guru Prasad. We are at the gate. Of course, the gate is closed. And Rhoda is telling mom that, Kaushal, you see this mansion? It was quite a distance within the compound. So mom sees Guru Prasad inside, and Rhoda says that this is where Baba is, because Baba had already come by then. He was already there at Guru Prasad. So Rhoda says, Kaushal, you will meet Baba here. Baba is here. So effectively, mom knew where Guru Prasad is. The next day or the 3rd day morning, Baba has invited those who had come from Bombay, the Bombay group, to him at Guru Prasad. So they are there. We were not there. The Khans were not there. And the reason being that we were not invited. Now, you'll wonder, what is this invite? Why would a guru need to invite his lovers to come? It's not normally the done thing. Like the way we went to Kamu Baba. We were not invited. We just went there. But here, we were not invited. We'll come to invite maybe a little later. We were not invited, so we didn't go. Mom and the 3 of us, we didn't go. So Rhoda, the Chanjis, the mysteries, Khambatas, whatever, they are there in front of Baba in Guru Prasad in the Mandli room. Now the Mandli room, let's say, was roughly 3/4 of this hall. Roughly, basically 3/4 of this. So they are inside a room called the monthly room. And Baba, hi Hilla, I was longing to see you. Please come.
Sorry, I'm late.
Please, please.
Thank you.
Inga best.
Five minutes coming. Look over there.
Yeah. But you want cushion chair? Cushion chair.
Oh, bless.
Abhi sambal so niche se.
Sorry to disturb.
Sorry.
Thank you. Sorry, Jim. Right.
Hilla has met Baba more than 100 times than I have met. You can imagine a soul. I can't say anything beyond that. If someone has met Baba, has been with Baba, actually with Baba, great. Okay, so we come back. So Baba is asking pointedly to Rhoda, have you come with anyone else? Have you brought anyone else? Now there are two versions. One version is that she had not written to Baba that I would like to bring Khorshid Khan and the kids. May I bring them? Shall I bring them? She had not written to Baba. She just told Mom, come. The other is she was lost in the sand. She didn't know what Baba was trying to say by saying that, have you brought anyone else? So Rhoda said, Baba, Jim, her husband's name was also Jim. Baba, Jim's here, my boys are here. Anyone else you brought? The third time when Baba asks, he says, he doesn't say, have you brought anyone? The third time Baba says, the lady at the gate, is she not with you? Baba is in a closed room, I think like this also. He is in a closed room in Moba's hotel. He does like this and says, not with you, you haven't brought her? Rhoda was shocked. She realized that Baba is winning Khorshid. She was completely off guard, taken aback, and she apologized to Baba. She says, Baba, please forgive me, I'm very sorry. I should have written to you. The next time you come, bring her along, bring them along. So the next time could be next day, the third day. Now let me give you a little background of Guru Prasad and our invite. In the sense that we met Baba, let's say, twice a week in the morning, maybe thrice a week in the morning. If we met Baba in the morning, it is an invite. Because we are in a small room, a small group, that's an invite. And at Moba's hotel in the morning, we get a phone call saying Baba's calling. When I say we, I mean the Baba group, not the Khans. The whole of the Baba group who's living at Moba's hotel. Just one phone call saying Baba's calling. And we are kind of dressed. Because any day he may call us, so we are already dressed. Maybe we only have to put on our shoes or something, that's it. But otherwise we are ready. So suppose I'm already on the veranda of the hotel. If I get a word that Baba's calling, I will just wear my shoes and start walking. I will not wait for Mom and my sisters and the others. Whoever is ready will just start walking. If you walk down the road, we enter Guru Prasad. Now let me give you a brief of Guru Prasad, unless I tell you that you won't understand. Now, as I said, Guru Prasad was like a mansion. As you enter the ornate gate, there are well manicured lawns, there are always gardeners tending to the garden. In the center is a fountain, a marble fountain. You go further up, there is this edifice, and in front there are these marble steps going up. You got to just imagine in your mind's eye. And as you go up, there are verandas on three sides. On three sides on the veranda. At the back is the pantry. As you walk up, you go further in, there is this central hall. A big central hall which could accommodate, let's say, between 200 to 300 people. The program happened on Sunday afternoons in the central hall, where it was open, no invite, because 200, 300 people came. There could be a ghazal singer or a qawwali singer or any kind of singers and entertainment. On the right of the central hall, there were two rooms. The second room was where we call the Manli room, where we met Baba. On the left, the first room was Baba's private room, and the next two rooms where the women Manli stayed. The men Manli stayed on the right, women Manli stayed on the left. If during the weekdays when we were called by Baba, we would go from the side entrance. There was side entrance on either side, small staircase going up. So we would go from there and straight walk into the Manli room. So the next day or the third day when we are invited, we go there. But before we go there, Rhoda had kind of told Mom that when we meet Baba, you don't hug him, you don't kind of fall at his feet and touch his feet. Nothing of that. Just be comfortable, just be kind of normal. Just be there and let Meher Baba take over. We don't have the practice of falling at his feet every time we meet him. Mom said it's fine, whatever is done is done. So we go there, we are on the veranda, and to my mom's amazement, or whatever you call it, there are 25 to 30 people already on the veranda waiting for the room to open so that we could go inside the Manli room. Now, Mom is dejected, she's crestfallen, because in my mom's mind's eye, please give me a minute. Mom's mind's eye, she thought this is going to be a private interview. Just herself, her children, and Meher Baba. Something like first visit being a private visit, but she sees 25, 30 people and she almost does like this, saying that, no, I'd rather go back. I want to go back. I don't want to meet Baba like this in front of so many people. Maybe she had something in her mind's eye as to how to greet him, how to meet him. But this was a no-go for her. So, and the moment she tells herself that I'd rather go back to the hotel, maybe I'll come some other time and meet Baba all alone. At this point in time, the door opens, Manli room door opens. Eraj steps out and he announces that Baba wants the first timers to come in first. And the Khans were the only first timers. We were the only first timers. So we walk in, Eraj closes the door behind us. So it is Meher Baba, Eraj, and the four of us. And Baba is seated on his gari and we enter from here. And the moment Mom walks in, Baba opens his arms to her. And like God sent, as we say God sent, it was God sent. Do I say God sent or God's greeting, willing to greet? So Mom literally falls into Baba's arms and Baba collapses his hands up and takes Mom under her. And then, now you've got to imagine what happens when you open a champagne bottle or a soda bottle. You know, the gas that is clamped inside, throttled inside, suddenly
Explodes.
So similarly, my mom, whatever her pent up emotions, feelings, whatever else adjective you may use, which was all bottled up for quite some time, the moment Baba gave her a hug, she started crying is not the word. There are two words in English language. One is crying, one is wailing. You know what's wailing? And Mom, and I'm 16, my sister behind me is 12 or 13, Pepsi was the youngest, and we were kind of shocked. We never saw Mom crying. Maybe she did cry when she became widow, but she must have cried in closed doors. Not in front of her children. Not to disturb them emotionally, she must have cried behind closed doors. But here, We see mom crying. So Baba holds on to her as long as she cried. Then after a minute or so, she's wailing, she's sighing, breathing deeply, breathing heavily. That is when Baba lets go of her, and mom is still wiping her tears. And then Baba gave a hug to Dinah, then to me, then to Betsy. Then my hug to Baba, it's been 2022, 62 years. It's been a long journey. But if you ask me what was the hug like, I feel it today also. It's not something that I've lost track of or I've forgotten about. It's still very alive. It's still very alive with me. And so then Baba tells mom, you don't worry about them. From today they are mine, I will look after them. Baba consoles mom saying, from today they are mine, I will look after them. Big deal, absolutely. Big deal for her, not for us. For her, because as a mother, as a biological mother, she must have worried herself to death about her 3 children. Not for herself, but 3 children, how to bring them up. We are still in junior school. We are not even in secondary school, middle school. We are not even in middle school. So, but Baba said, don't worry about them, I will look after them. These are his words. Then Baba looks at my sisters and he tells Iraj to go over and call Goher. Now we are on men's section. Goher is the other side of the central hall. So Iraj walks into the central hall. He gives a shout, Goher, Goher, Baba's calling you. So naturally Goher comes and she comes into the room. And Baba looks at my sisters and tells Goher, you're so skinny. Just check them and come back. And he tells mom, Tame bhi jao. You also go with them. So this is the first time in the summer of 60, my mom and my sisters meet the women Monday. They go over to the women's side naturally for medical checkup. So starting from Meramai, Baba's sister Mani, Naja, Khorshid, there were 2 Khorshid in Baba's Mangli, Rano. I don't think Katie was there because Katie was working. Maybe during summer she may have come. So mom and my sister, they meet the women Mangli for the first time. So in the meantime, the door is open, everybody comes in and takes their seat. And Goher comes and says, Baba, they are okay. They are just skinny, but there's nothing wrong with them. They are fine. Baba, sit down, take your seat. So this is my first impression, my first meeting with Meher Baba. So what does a 16-year-old see? One is, now this I came to know much later, that Mama said that I don't want to meet Baba like this. I came to, because she had not told us about it. Much later I came to know that Mom said I don't want to meet Baba, and suddenly the door opens and so Baba reads my mother's mind. God in human form, will he not? And he calls us privately and we meet him privately. That's point number 1. Point number 2, Baba does not stick to his own rule. He breaks his own rule of not meeting people or letting touch their feet. He breaks his own rule and he hugs mom and he gives us solace. Then he says, don't worry, I'll look after them. You don't have to worry. And lastly, he worries externally, of course. He worries for my sisters, calls the doctor, check them, how are they doing. So this is what you see. This is what it is your first impression of the God-man. So this is our first tryst with Meher Baba, our first meeting with Meher Baba. This is what we saw. I'll take you the same summer, very first year. No, I don't think so. Sorry. Then one day, Baba doesn't see me seated in front of him. where Cyrus is sitting, this is the furthest I sat from Baba. Whenever I met Baba at Guru Prasad, this is the furthest I sat. So close, absolute, not even 6 feet. So he didn't see me sitting in front of it. So he's asking Mom, where's Jimmy? I don't see him. So Mom says, Baba is finished his school and he's gone to Bombay for the results, he's gone to Bombay for admission in college. So he spotted me missing. So that's very relevant. Then the next year, we are seated in front of Baba, and ARS comes with a pile of correspondence. In those days, we had inland letters, we had telegrams, we had envelope letters, and the likes. Now, if the letters were addressed to either Mera or Mani, those letters would certainly go to the women's side, and Mera and Mani would respond, or they would read before Baba. If they were written in Hindi or Marathi, Bauji would handle, because Bauji was a Maharashtrian, he was a Hindu. So the Hindi and Marathi letters were read by Bauji. If they were English letters, Iraj would handle them, but he would read them in his spare time outside. He would open them, he would read them, he knew the contents of the letter. So mentally he doesn't have to open the letter in front of Baba and waste time, then say, Baba, wait, I can't read, Baba. No such thing. He is all prepared, he has read the letter beforehand, he knows what's in the letter. So basically he knew what's in the letter. So he sits with a pile of letters, and after some pleasantries, Baba's telling Iraj, go ahead, let's hear the correspondence. So the first letter, the second letter, sorry. Then the third letter, Iraj says, Baba, there's a letter from Jimmy. And I'm sitting right here. What have you written? And you imagine my mom, she's sitting right here. I didn't tell Mom that I'm going to write a letter. I didn't tell her I've written a letter to Baba. So she must have been petrified, absolutely petrified. What has my son written to Baba? That kind of, she must have been very frightened. I hope he has written something. So, what have you written? So I said, Baba, I would like to be a pilot. You want to fly? I was maybe 18, 17, 18. So Baba tells Iraj, okay, go through it, go read the letter. So Iraj goes through the letter. And after he finishes the letter, I am not even 20. There are others who are in their 60s and, the top guns of those days. So let's say Nariman Radhachandji says, Baba, don't encourage him, don't say yes to him. There's a video here. He doesn't know what he's talking. So there's another guy, Baba's brother, Jal. Says, Baba, don't encourage him, don't say yes to him. Some of your lovers have died in air crash, etc. And Baba is very animate. Baba's eyes spoke everything. His fingers did, of course, but his eyes, his gestures, his facial expressions, they did all the talking. Baba would do all this with his big eyes, taking in. And the third guy said, Baba, let him be a pilot. If he wants to be a pilot, why stop him? He don't crash every day. Let him be a pilot. If that is his wish, let him be. So Baba does that also. So these guys are putting in their 2 cents, 2 pence to this discussion which should have happened between me and Baba. So Mom's here. The women sat, if this is the hall, the women sat on the right, the men sat on the left. So Mom's here. Baba's telling Mom, not a word, not a word. You are his mother. But you are not saying a word, and these guys are putting in their 2 cents. So Mom said, Baba, you decide. The first day Baba had told Mom that they are mine, I will look after them. So Mom uses the same sentence saying, Baba is yours, you decide. Baba is yours, you decide. So then Baba looks at me and says, you're very skinny, to be a pilot, you got to have strong constitution. You should be, little, it requires a calling, kind of, trade calling. You have to have a lot of energy, you got to have good physical. So I'm already in business school, we call it Commerce College in India. So I said, and Baba didn't ask me whether I want to be a BCom. BCom means a graduate in business. Baba is asking as a matter of career. So I said, Baba, I'll do CA. Okay, that was CA is Chartered Accountant. So that was the only option in those days. We didn't have MBA, we didn't have company secretary like we have today. So I said, Baba, I'll do CA. Very good. Then he said he did. Then the second was, and the last was. so here she is translating all these gestures, saying that Baba says that people will respect you. You know when they did like that? What he meant was that people will respect you if you are a chartered accountant. Then he did like this, means you'll sit on a big chair. And the third was. So that's that. That's that. We move 1 year later, and I'm in my second year in college. In those days, we used to call it intercommerce. And this was naturally a university exam, where thousands sit in every year. And it was summertime, so we are already in Pune, we are at Mobo's Hotel, and the result is announced. And to date I remember 74% of university students in my class failed. 74%. It's unheard of, very unheard of. So a big chunk was kind of failed. So I was one of them. And at Mobo's Hotel, there were youngsters who were in school, college. They had all passed, and I was the only bloke who failed. So naturally, I felt very ashamed of myself. So I started crying. I was very upset with myself. So the word goes to Baba that Jimmy has failed and he's crying a lot over here. Baba said, send him over. So I am called. I go to Guru Prasad, and I should have gone by the side entrance into the monthly room, common sense. But here, Aloba tells me to go from the central stairs and go up in the central room. Okay, so I go up, and as I go up, you can see the central hall in front of you. So I quickly remove my shoes, and Baba's already seated there. And the dining table was in the central hall. Normally the dining table would be in the pantry at the back. We never saw dining table in the central room. But there it was. Baba was seated there. Goher was with Baba. And on the table was a plate full of sliced mango, being summertime. So I go there, and Baba is asking, what happened? So I'm trying to explain to him that Baba, the economics paper was very difficult, and I'm sure I must have failed because of economics, etc. So some talk relating to the exam and the failure goes on, and someone shouts for Goher. Goher, so Goher excuses herself, says, Baba, please excuse me, and she goes in. The moment she goes in, I am with beloved Baba. Me and beloved Baba. Now to give you, Hilda will endorse me, to give you an idea of what I was alone with beloved Baba means. It means you, Meher Baba, and one of the monkey. That is called being alone with Baba. Here I am genuinely alone with Baba, which is rarest of the rare honor. I mean it, I honestly mean it. Because I've traveled around the globe, I've met a few thousand Baba lovers, I've been intimate with them, most of them, many of them. And today, I've come to know of barely 10 to 12 people who have told me that I have had the same honor of being with Meher Baba all along. That is the rarity. It was after years that I came to know that my mom and my younger sister Bepsi had the same privilege. They also met Baba all alone, but they were together. So coming back, here I am with Baba, and Baba is doing his gestures, and his fingers would fly. I mean it, his fingers would fly. And I draw a blank, I said, sorry Baba. I felt so ashamed of myself that I'm with Baba all alone, he's trying to tell me something, and I don't get it. So Baba does for the second time, and I'm sure he must have done slowly this time. And once again I'm totally out of wits. I think he did it for the third time, I'm not too sure. I think he did it for the third time, and I said, sorry Baba. So he says, okay, get up. So I get up, I'm on the carpet, so he says, get up. So, and he picks up a slice of mango, he gives it to me, so I hold it in reverence with both the hands, and I take my seat again. In the meantime, Goher comes, and Baba tells Goher what he wanted to tell me, and she translates. I think what Baba was trying to suggest or tell me was that I'll help you with some finances for your extra coaching. That's what he meant. And Baba did give my mother 300 rupees. I'm talking of 1960 or 61, 62, which is 50 years earlier. So 300 rupees in those days was a tidy sum. Good, very good sum, 300 rupees. So Baba gave 300 rupees for my extra coaching. So this is it. Then after a while Baba says, you can go now. So as I'm walking out in the garden, I ate that slice with the skin on. Like Bauji ate the banana with the skin. I ate, it's easier to eat a mango slice with the skin than a banana. So anyway, so I ate it. Now there's a different dimension to this. This was my calling, but someone else, as I was talking to her over the net, she was telling me, I'll tell her what she said. And as I was telling her that this is what happened, and she said, Jimmy Baba failed you. Jimmy, Tom Riley's wife, Kathy Riley, if you have heard of Kathy Riley. So Kathy Riley, the Jackson, she said, Jimmy Baba failed you, Jimmy Baba failed you. I said, Kathy, I'm about to tell you the same thing. And she told me that, so now I'll tell you what the whole projection could be. That he made me fail so that I would cry, so that he would call me. Then he sent Goher away indirectly, so that he is with me all alone. And then he gives me a slice of mango. So I look at it this way, that this 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes that I spent with Baba, something, this is my wild imagination, and so is Kathy's. Something flowed from Baba to me during this, because we are all alone, just two of us looking into each other's eyes. And something flew from him to me internally. And through this mango, I look at it as a seed which Baba sowed in me. And he had his work tied down for me. Maybe he meant that whatever you see today, whatever you are saying in future, you'll go around, I'll send you around the globe and you talk about me. You talk about what you see today with me, and you speak about me in future. So that's what I've been doing for the last 15, 20 years, talking to people around, talking about Meher Baba, my being with Meher Baba, very close connections of the Khan family. So this is how it could be interpreted. And I'm very internally, I'm convinced about this interpretation of mine. And so did Kathy endorse it. So this is it. Okay. one summer, it was, at least in my book I've said 1966. In 1966, see, normally when the summer was over, Baba and the Mandli would go from Guru Prasad, they would halt at Ban Garden. And Baba would get off the car, there would be two cars, Baba would get off the car and the Mandli. Baba would sit under the banyan tree where Baba Jan had sat, and for a while the pleasantries would be exchanged. Baba would sit for half an hour or maybe 1 hour, and after the aarti, Baba would proceed for Meraza. This time, because it was rains, the program was changed to Guru Prasad itself, not halting at the Bankard. And I was there, so, and I was invited, so I go there. And as I'm walking down the road, at the gate, at Guru Prasad gate, there are 3 local ladies, Maharashtrian local ladies who are at the gate. And maybe they were not invited, so I look at them and I walk inside. So as I'm walking inside, now you got to imagine there's this idiot Parsi guy who's in his 20s, so you know how it all works here. So I thought I was a privileged guy, I thought I was one of the insiders, I thought I was one of the close ones, I thought I was one of the invitees. So I'm one of the, so I'm walking, and Baba was seated on the porch, on the veranda, which never happened. He was on the veranda because the Bangli was inside packing, last minute packing, etc. So Baba is seated on the veranda, I meet Baba. And of course the order is not to touch his feet. But I had carried some loose flowers with me. So I put loose flowers at his feet and I move on. So few of us move on, and after a while one of the Mandli comes and tells something in Baba's ears. Effectively it meant that Baba, there are some who are at the gate, they would also like to meet you. So Baba said, Baba, and I remember the gesture. Call them in. Why not? So they also come, they also meet Baba. So before that, one of the guys who met Baba touched Baba's feet. Why did you touch Baba? You don't know the law, you don't know the rule, you're not supposed to touch my feet. And this guy is aghast. He feels so sad, he feels so sorry about the whole thing. He said, Baba, please forgive me, I didn't know. Baba, please, I'm so sorry. Baba said, don't think about it. It's forgotten, forgiven. So he walks by. Then Baba tells the rest, now you also, my heel is already broken. Now what the heck? So everyone touches Baba's feet, and here I am with my jaw fallen. And the worst, the salt and the chili powder is, these 3 ladies who were not invited, and I thought I was the, and they were not invited. They came and touched Baba's feet. What's happening? Where am I? I'm that special guy, I'm the invitee, and these local women, they fall at Baba's feet, and I'm nobody. So after the crowd is through, Baba was very perceptive that these people have not touched my feet. So he tells, now you also come and touch my feet. So I distinctly remember, happened 50 years back, 60 years back. I was the second last who touched Baba's feet. I wish I was the last, but I was the second last who touched Baba's feet. Now what's the moral of the story? Every story has a moral. The moral is, Jimmy, you are nobody. In front of me, all are equal. You are where you are. You're not special. So that's always a lesson. There's always a lesson to learn in humility. Okay, so it doesn't stop here. That's part A of the story. Let's go to part B of the story. When we are together, Baba's nephew Sheru, Rustam and Sorab's brother, who's no more, the eldest of the four. So Baba's telling Sheru Baba is here, Sheru is here, I am here. So there's like a triangle. Baba said, remember in your thick skull, I am God. Baba's telling his own nephew, remember I am God. And he drew a blank. I am here, and I am telling Sheru, Baba says I am God. The moment I said, Sheru, Baba says I am God, Baba looked at me, Baba looked at him and said, did you hear Julie? You hear him? Remember that. Now you'll ask me, how did it go? How did Baba say that I am God? Now, I am doing 100 times slower than what Baba did, but this is how it went. I, this is I. So I, this is A, this is M, this is G, O, D. This is I. I'll repeat once more. I, A, M, G, O, D. I'm God. So Sheru said, yes, Baba, I'll remember. So this is how life went at Guru Prasad. I'll tell you a few of my mom's stories. It was during East-West gathering. Now, normally we would be very close to Baba, either in the Mandalay room or central hall, we would be close to Baba. But here during the East-West gathering which happened in the backyard of Guru Prasad, you have seen the videos, you know about it, you have seen the films. It was a longish backyard, and we were to sit in the blocks that were made for Maharashtra, Gujarat, Bombay, Pune, Nagar, Nagpur, etc., etc. So Bombay's block was quite far, so we were seated far. So Mom's telling herself, if Baba is the God, Baba should call me. Now, everybody has fantasies. So my mother's fantasy, if Baba is the God, he should call me. Now, let's understand, in Baba's Banli there were two Khorsheds, Mutti Khorshid and Naldi Khorshid. That means the elder Khorshid and the younger Khorshid. Mom was not one of the Khorshids. Mom was not even a volunteer. She was just like one of the few thousands who had gathered there. And sure enough, the moment she thought that Baba should call me, there's an announcement on the public system, Khorshid Khan, come to Guru Prasad. Second time, Khorshid Khan, wherever you are, come to Guru Prasad, come inside Guru Prasad. And the others who were next door said, Khorshid, go, Baba's calling you, go, Khorshid. So, Mom went inside. Now you will wonder why was this announcement, Khorshid Khan, wherever you are, come inside. It rained. Everybody knows about it, rained during this first gathering. And the Western ladies, like all of us, they were soaked to the skin. And the Western ladies were called inside Guru Prasad. And when the ladies, the women Mandli at Merazad, when they were packing their bags, suitcases, Baba told the ladies to take as many clothes as they can and as many nice clothes or whatever. Pack everything that you have, your clothes, etc. The ladies are wondering, normally we never carried whole lot of our clothes, whatever they had. They lived very simply, mind you, very simply. But whatever they carried, everything. So when the ladies were called inside in Guru Prasad, all drenched wet, all the clothes were laid on the chairs, tables, whatever it was, for the women to pick up and change. And Mom was called inside because Mom wore sari. You know, Indian women wear sari. So Mom always wore saris. So Mom was called inside to help the Westerners to drape saris on them. So that's why Mom was called inside. But Baba responded, of all the thousands, Mom was called. So this is one other story. Another story of Mom is, Mom is walking from Mo's hotel to Guru Prasad to go in. And normally Baba would have a garland on his chest, around his neck. Now there's a guy at the gate, he's selling garlands. But garland with a difference. In the sense, these were origami garlands made of silk and cloth and cotton wool and whatever you name it. These are origami, thin, stringy, small garlands, and even cheap compared. Then of course there's no fragrance, thin, small thing. And mom is agitating in her mind, should I buy, should I not buy? And in this, what will the others think? They will bring gajras. Gajras means thick garlands are called gajras. They will come with gajras, and if I carry this string, what will people think, that Kausha doesn't have money to buy good garland? She couldn't afford anything better. So she walks in and she goes in and takes a seat. And Baba has no garland on him, bare-chested kind of. He was wearing a sadra, but in that sense, bare-chested not. So Baba's looking at everyone and said, none of you brought a garland for me today. Anyway, never mind. So Baba's pointing at one of the mandali, and there's a box there. There's a small box. Baba says, take it out from there. So this guy pulls out the garland, gives it to Baba. Baba wears it himself. Now this is once again not a floral garland. This is the same kind of origami garland, same kind. The difference being the one that mom saw was fresh. The colors were pink and blue and white and freshly made, newly made, new ribbon, etc. But the one that was taken out from the box was an old one where all the colors faded, the pink had turned to semi-white and all those. So Baba, and then Baba did like this. Effectively, this was a ruse. Ruse means an excuse. This was an excuse to teach mom a lesson. Lesson being that you don't think what the others will think. Mom was agitated that what will others think, that Kausha didn't have the money. She bought this cloth thing. So a lesson to my mom that if you are my lover, that's it. Whatever your heart goes for, go for it. You don't worry about others. Now this is what we do every day. We always judge the others. Are they real Baba lovers? Are they really Baba lovers? Are they strong Baba lovers? Mentally we are always worried about the others. We are not worried about ourselves. We rather do introspection, which means go inside and take care of ours and our being with Baba, not worry about the other. So this was a lesson to our mom. Now at home on 31st March is spring equinox, the new season for the crops, the fruits, etc. The winter is behind you, so the new crop, etc. Now this is celebrated, we call it the Nowruz. The Iranis celebrate in a very big way. It's celebrated in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, in quite a big area, north of India also, which is called Baisakhi, and etc. So we Parsis do a small table, Iranis do it in a very big way, but we always have, all Parsi Baba lovers have a Baba table, we call this Baba table. So we also had a Baba table, and on this 21st March, Mom chops watermelons, puts them in a bowl and puts in front of Baba, then a bowl of dry fruits, like Iranian traditions, bowl of dry fruits that she puts at the table, and a glass of faluda. A faluda is like a rose milkshake with milk and sherbet and vermicelli and dollop of ice cream or cream or whatever. So that's a quite cool, refreshing drink. So Mom puts faluda at the table and she sits on the chair and says, Baba, please have it. Baba, please have it. Sure enough, Baba's hand comes out from the frame, Baba's frame. He picks up the Faluda, takes it to his mouth. This is a vision. And takes a handful of dry fruits. Sorry. Now he doesn't. Now he doesn't touch watermelons, chopped watermelon. Now mom's wondering why he didn't touch the watermelons. So now she picks up, she takes all the three things to the kitchen. And in the kitchen, at the kitchen, she realizes Mom had not taken the trouble of removing the seeds from the watermelon. Now where will Baba spit the seeds? In the hall. So that's why he didn't touch the watermelon. So she went back. She said, sorry Baba, forgive me. So this is it. Now the same scenario, mom's at the table, and maybe she had wet eyes and she's wondering that my Firoz missed out on Baba, her husband, our father. He missed out on our father, on Meher Baba, because he passed on much early before Mom had heard Baba's name, but before we came to Baba, Dad was already gone, long gone. So Mom's feeling very sad about the fact that he was the only one who missed out on Baba. So now let's explain the structure of Baba's table. This is the Baba's photo. On the right side where you see the candle, is a small frame of Dad. Small frame of Dad on this side, and a small frame of Sai Baba on this side. So that's this structure. So sure enough, Baba's hand comes out from the frame, picks up Dad's frame, puts it back. This is it. So we take a break?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe 10 minutes and we come back.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.